Welcome to Underground Video Network's Behind the Counter. Mike here, and as with me as always is Richard.
Hello.
This episode we're going to do our review of the movie Captain America. Is it going to be this summer's Dark Knight, or is it going to fade into the dark like Daredevil? Captain America. Richard, your thoughts?
Oh, it was great.
Oh, I loved it.
It was just perfect for a summer-filled movie.
It was the epitome of a good summer blockbuster. It had a good story, it had action, it kept the audience's attention.
It had an origin.
Which, unlike, a lot of the other comic books that have come out, Batman, Superman, Captain America is, I would say, well known.
Oh, yeah.
But to the general population, who is this Steve Rogers and why should I care?
Right. And it was actually set back in World War II.
Yes, this was a
little skewed World War II.
Yeah, it was a true origin. It didn't just deal with Captain America. It went all the way back to the history of Steve Rogers.
Oh, definitely. It was like from the beginning when he was a scrawny,
Yeah.
not kid, but young adult,
Right.
going into the military.
Which was something I really appreciated. I thought the special effects on having Chris Evans as the scrawny young teenager, I thought they pulled that off. I thought they pulled that off better than some other blockbuster computer-enhanced movies that have come out here recently.
Yeah, he just didn't wear baggy clothes.
Yeah. I mean, when you looked at him, in the back of your mind, you knew it was an effect, but I think they actually really pulled it off.
And I think nowadays with the digital processing, we can pull almost anything off.
Oh, yeah. I love the backstory of showing Steve Rogers as just a kid who cared back in Brooklyn.
Yeah, he felt that he wanted to go fight in the war. He wanted to support America. That's his true self.
And I was one of those people, when I first heard that Chris Evans was cast as Captain America, the first thing that popped in my mind was, Human Torch, comical, whimsical. He wasn't going to be able to pull off the heavy, but I really think he did.
He was good in Push.
Oh, he was great in Push, yes.
Which to me was
a comic
more this.
Yeah. Along with Chris Evans, the other cast members that need to be talked about, Tommy Lee Jones.
Oh yeah, he's a Colonel General.
He's a monster. He stole, with all due respect to everybody else in the movie, he stole every scene he was in. I mean, he commanded your attention, he got your attention, and he pulled it off.
Basically, to me, he was Sergeant Fury.
Yes, he was.
From World War II.
Yeah.
And that's what they kind of portrayed it as.
Right, yeah. He wasn't just background fluff. He wasn't just a general, hey, do your push-ups, we want that guy, you're too skinny. He held his own in that movie, which for a comic book movie, when you've got a guy over here in a red, white, and blue costume with a shield, to be able to pull that kind of attention away was phenomenal.
And like I said, the rest of the Howling Commandos showed up. I mean, it was hilarious.
Marvel did not disappoint when it comes to their Easter eggs for the comic book fans.
Oh, definitely. I mean, to me, when they got in the tank and howled, that was hilarious. I mean, that was
great.
The best part, And I know they went a little on the timing of the movie was a little off there when he was doing his campaign across America, selling the savings bond. That was a little more ad-lib compared to what was in the comics, and it could have been shorter, I thought, but
we got the idea that he was a dog and pony show after the first couple.
Yeah.
I did really appreciate, though, it was nice that they showed him abroad, at home, how he was a big hero and everybody looked up to him, but when they showed him abroad, overseas, for the troops,
they didn't want to see him. They wanted to see the dames.
They wanted to see the dames. You're just some clown in the costume who has no business being here.
Definitely.
That was great. That was a nice little character twist right there.
And just to think he was super powered doing all that.
Right.
He just didn't know how to do it,
Yeah.
And then he just got thrown straight into basically the war situation, and then he went with it. And the movie was great.
The movie was great. Another nod I'd like to give to was Stanley Tucci as Professor Skane.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm a big Stanley Tucci fan, and when I heard that he was on board for this movie, I was very excited about him. He was a wonderful actor, and he brought so much heart to the role of Professor Skane that you really believed that he had noble intentions in wanting to create the super soldier. It wasn't just about shooting Nazis.
A weapon.
A weapon. He wanted to create a perfect, not soldier, but just he didn't want to create a perfect. He wanted to enhance what he thought was the perfect person, and he found that in Steve Rogers. And I did. It was a very enjoyable movie.
I liked how they interpreted several of the different origins
True.
and kind of put it together.
Yeah.
And they even credited a lot of those people, the writers, in the credits.
Yes, they
As
did.
you was staying for the ending to see the Avenger thing, which I'm not going to spoil. Everybody knows the Avengers was showcased at the
Yeah.
end. But if you really read the credits, a lot of comic book creators got knowledge. And
Another highlight for me of the movie was Bucky.
oh yeah, definitely
Love me some Bucky.
a reinterpretation.
A very well done reinterpretation. For anybody who knows your Captain America books, Bucky was the tiny teenage sidekick who
Robin.
His Robin. He really was. Bucky was Captain's Robin.
But everybody back in that time frame had a sidekick.
Yeah.
Because they thought basically they needed a kid to go along with them so the kids would read the books.
Right.
They was afraid that adult just wasn't going to be enough for a kid to read. They
True.
needed that sidekick. And that's why the original concept was. But we don't need that anymore.
No, we don't. And their interpretation of Bucky as his childhood friend,
It worked.
it worked. It really did.
And it kind of even led up to what's going on right now in the comics that Brubaker is putting together, you know?
Right.
And what happened later on in Fear itself, you know?
True, yeah.
So it's getting you a little taste of who Bucky Barnes is.
And it was like we said before, it was a great summer movie. The action was spectacular.
Special effects.
The special effects were
just-
good. Were more than good. One of your highlight low parts, one of the little small touches, Anthony Stark.
Oh yeah, the little interpretation with Iron Man's dad, basically, and he was an Avenger and stuff, and he was creating these stuff back then, like the flying car,
Yeah.
the shield, everything. It was just
Marvel's done a spectacular job of taking, like I said before, Easter eggs for the comic book fans, giving us that little taste, but also enhancing the movie for people who aren't comic book fans.
and tying it all together
And tying it all together. I mean, you've never had to pick up a book.
to really know what's going on.
Right.
You could literally not read any of the comics and watch these movies and basically make sense.
Yeah, for someone who's never even picked up a comic book before, if you've seen the Iron Man movies, which most of America has by now,
Right.
just knowing that, hey, that's Tony Stark's dad.
Right.
You never had to pick up a comic book to appreciate that from the previous movie. Now that was a nice.
And the whole thing with the cosmic cube,
Oh,
because
yeah.
then that ties you into the Thor movies
Uh-huh.
and the Asgardian mythology.
Right.
That was nice, little touch. It makes it a little different because the cosmic cube was a little different interpretation in the comics.
Right.
With this is a new interpretation for the movies and what happens to the Red Skull, and Red Skull was portrayed great too.
Oh yeah. Hugo Weaving, he's just a phenomenal villain, and to be able to pull that kind of depth off
With this little thing on his
with
head.
I mean he made sunglasses creepy
Oh,
in the
yeah, yeah.
Matrix, and to be able to not only portray the Red Skull, because I mean he's got a red mask and he looks all scary and everything, but when you listen to him talk, it's not this that makes you go ooh, it's him emoting that makes you go ooh.
Yeah, and then the only little peeve that I had about the movie was the interpretation of Nazis. Because
True.
this was supposed to be Hydra, which is like a superior technical firm of the Nazis.
Right.
We never really saw any real Nazis. We never saw Hitler. We never saw what really
Right.
was World War II.
True.
And to me, I was a little disappointed in that.
True, but I think it like before, it fit the tone of the movie because at the time,
And the laser guns.
the laser guns for me fit with the idea of the cosmic cube.
Right.
And I mean, it would have been nice to see Cap smack around a Nazi. I mean, who doesn't want to see that? Who doesn't want to see that
But they were
recreated
trying
scene?
to be a little more politically correct, I think.
True.
And they didn't want to step on toes a little bit, I think. This was more a heightened reality, which
Yeah.
is the Marvel Universe.
True, and I mean, let's face it. If we want to see somebody smack around Nazis, we just have to pop in Indiana Jones. Come on. I mean, who doesn't like seeing Indiana Jones smack around Nazis? For Captain America, though, being the super soldier, I thought that it was they had to step it up from the Nazis, which is why it didn't bother me that much. Not that Nazis weren't, and will be the dominant evil.
But I had to pick it apart a little bit. I'm sorry.
True,
sorry,
yeah.
fans of the show. This is how I interpret it. Because, I mean, I took my dad to go see this.
Mm-hmm.
And he read the original Captain America
Right.
from 1 to present. He wanted to see Nazi be smacked around.
Yeah, yeah, it would have
But
been
he loved the show.
true. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Oh no.
I did cut you off.
Oh no. No, I found very few things to really find out fault with the movie. Didn't take itself too seriously. It wasn't Dark Knight heavy.
No.
But then again, it wasn't Green Lantern
Or comedy.
You know, it had its moments, and like a couple of the moments that were very poignant for me were the speeches with Professor Skane. I mean, that for a summer comic book movie, a lot of what he said really was deep.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
when he tells Steve, it was great when he asked Steve Rogers if he just wants to go over there and kill Nazis, and and Steve's like, I don't want to kill anybody, I just want to protect, you know.
Yeah, protect America.
Protect
You
America.
want to be America.
You know, it wasn't just, you know, a way of making somebody to go out and kill people. It really showed the depth that Professor Skane had in wanting to create the super soldier.
Definitely.
Granted, I'm probably going a little bit too deep into it, but
Yeah, it's just a movie, Mike.
yeah, it's just a movie. But, you know,
That's coming from Gary.
that's coming from Gary. But, you know, for somebody who's, from my point of view, who's seen comic book movies come and go that I've looked forward to for years, that have entertained me but fallen short, I appreciated this one because for me, I set the bar just about midway, and it
Went a little above.
went a little bit above, and I appreciated that.
And it's basically setting up for next summer. I mean,
True.
who else doesn't want to see the Avengers now?
Right.
I mean, that little segment at the end when Stark runs into Thor.
Nice swing. That was great. Yeah, if you haven't got a chance to watch the movie yet, which, you know, how, don't watch this. Go back. Spoilers, spoilers.
Oh, yeah.
If anybody who's ever seen a Marvel movie knows, stick through the credits. You'll never be disappointed. I was a little surprised. That was a bold move by Marvel to actually put the ending
On Yahoo.
on Yahoo, the ending of the movie, and the credits, or no, not the post-credit
post-
Easter egg,
Right.
like a week after the movie came out. You know, it's,
And it shows basically the Avengers sitting around their table getting ready and then some other stuff. And
this was the perfect, because it wasn't just quick ideas. I
Yeah.
mean, you saw, there's Tony Stark, there's him
it
with
was an
Thor.
involvement. It was an involvement, yeah.
Yes, I mean, there was Black Widow sitting in the background. There was Hawkeye in the background.
Yeah.
There was Cap sitting in the background. I mean, it wasn't just a teaser of like the characters being thrown at your face. It showed them together.
Yeah, it wasn't like the Conan trailer, the original Conan trailer.
Right.
This was a little clip, basically a little clip with things spliced together, and it worked. So,
It did. It was a perfect teaser.
So that sounds about all I need to talk about, Cap.
Yep. That was our review of Captain America. If you've seen the movie and you disagree with us, agree with us, or just want
please
to
comment.
please comment. You can catch us at the website,
Facebook page.
We're all over the interwebs. Just shout out. We'd love to hear from you.
Okay.